Shalom, on the self source by giving all praise to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of great millstone, and honors to brothers doing the work of the most and truth and in sincerity. Yahweh's real name of whom the world ignorantly calls God, Jehovah Yahweh. His real name is Yahweh. His son's true name is Yahweh Shai. And when we pray Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Birming in, having that and Sham, meaning names Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai. This is based off of some conversations in the workplace, and just kind of like deducing really kind of like what's going on, in this world, right? Where, here it is, you end up having a you basically it's like you basically end up having a woman that is, quote unquote, getting in the eyes of this world, looking to get married or like moving in with a quote boyfriend, but these times her heart still inclines for, the man that first, lay with her or whatever it is, right? It was, really just, making me think of just how wicked, this generation is, right? So we can start off with that, right? This is Matthew 16:4. It says, a wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign. And why does it say, adulterous? Because technically speaking, right, when you're dealing with women in this world, right, if they're not a virgin, right, then, they have already been that is adultery, right? Because sex, according to our law, is marriage. It says Exodus 22:16 says, and if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. Okay, so basically that's just like he sees her, he likes, he spits that game, right? And then he he basically takes it, basically, right? Verse 17 says, if her father utterly refused to give her unto him, she shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins, right? And he a lot of the time the father would just accept it, because then anyone who was to lay with her, right, would then be committing adultery. Okay, so that's why we just read here, wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a son. Because none of the women that we deal with, are virgins, right? Few and far between, right? But once again, it's just this idea of when we're out here in this world, right, just kind of seeing, like I said, you be hearing things, overhearing things, listening to what people say, and ultimately, people out here just hurt, right? The system that E has set up and proliferated in the world, that wine, right, is destructive, right? It is things of death. So let's read this. This is Matthew 19:3. It says, the Pharisees also came unto him, tempting him and saying, is it lawful for a man to put away his wife for every cause, right? And he said unto them, right, have you not read that he which made them at the beginning made them a male and female, and said, for this cause shall a man leave father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh, right? It's quoting Genesis 2:24. And that's one of the things. Then we can even go into that aspect, because this is saying you become a one flesh. And we've all dealt with women, right? And after a while, they kind of start laughing how you laugh, right? They start liking things that you like, right? And everything like that, because what's happening is you're becoming one flesh, right? So then when you consider that we live in a world where you will be, one of N, one of many, basically, imagine what kind of confusion is basically brought in there. And once again, deep down, there will be someone that she still is still madly in love with, right? And I said, it was just an observation. I was like, right, this is fucked, right? Excuse my French. This is messed up, but that is just a reminder of why we yearn to get up out of here, right? Once again, in this captivity, what's this saying? She's not yours. It's just your turn, right? And what kind of situation is that to be living in, right? That's why once again we seek for the kingdom, right? Because here, what the hell is this? This is Hebrews 13:14 says, for here we have no continuing city, but we seek one to come, right? And why do we seek one to come, right? Let's jump over to 2 Peter 3:13. It says, nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and the new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness, right? Because in the kingdom, right, once you marry a woman, that's just your woman, and that's going to be your woman for eternity, right? None of this. Oh, every now and then I think about this concept of an ex, right? As we're reading what Yahweh Shai said, that putting away a wife, or this, that, and the other. This whole concept of an ex is still moderately a new idea, a new concept, because in the beginning it was not so. Right. Once again, when the scripture says, right, let's go over to Isaiah 60, right. It says, I'll read into it. It runs along, right? It says Isaiah 60 from 21 says, "Thy people also shall be all righteous; they shall inherit the land forever." Right, the branching of my planting, the work of my hands, that I may be glorified. A little one shall become 1,000, and a small one a strong nation. Why? Because we're basically going to be getting wives, betrothing wives, right? And having children with those wives, right? And because we are going to be sinless, none of us are ever going to die. That basically means, once again, right? Well, we're going to finish this off, right? We read Matthew 19. Yahweh shows that, look, really, it wasn't designed such that a man would put away his wife. So basically, we're going to be married to the woman that we're dealing with forever, right? You ain't going to be having this mess, because that's what it is that you see in in this world. Right, and like I said, when I was kind of just observing the thing, I was just like, right, that's another reason and a reminder, right, not to get all caught up, right, with with these women, right, because once again, we men, right, but when we're hearing, the women that we're around, when we're kind of hearing how they're talking, right, certain things she's saying is the vibration of someone else, right. And that's just hell. That's part of that's part of our punishment in this kingdom, right? The fact, knowing that our woman, that quote unquote the woman that we're with, right, has been with however many other dudes before, right, has the vibration of those individuals, right? But then you get certain people that want to stay here, and I mean, what the hell is that, man? Right? We don't want to stay here, okay? So let's finish off. So it says, a little one shall become 1,000, Isaiah 60:22. A little one shall become 1,000, and a small one a strong nation. Yahweh will hasten it in his time. So that's it. So let's go back to this, right? This is Matthew 19:6 now. It says, wherefore they are no more twain, but one flesh. Right. So once again, this idea of, you get certain mans that are big into the whole adultery thing. Right. That's just straight up, alphabetism, man. Right, and the scriptures. Let's grab that. It says, I'm trying to remember how it's phrased. Some proverbs. This is Proverbs 6:32. It says, but whoso committeth adultery with a woman lacketh understanding. He that doeth it destroyeth his own soul. Right, and that's why it's a punishment unto death, man. Right, you're taking something that ain't yours, and it's just it sows wickedness. And when you look at this world around you, right, around us, Salakia, right, you can see why this was such a prevalent law, right? Because nowadays you get a lot of adultery, right, and then that leads into a lot of death, right, and a lot of children without parents, because things got all messed up. Which in this world they tried to say that a man having relations with another woman is adultery. That's not the case, right? Sleeping with a woman that is with someone or is with betrothed, that is adultery according to the law, right? And as such, but on that perspective, that's we've seen in this kingdom where that leads to, right? It just leads into a whole bunch of mess, right? A whole bunch of nastiness. Right, so let's carry on. Verse 33 says, a wound and a dishonor shall he get, and his reproach shall not be wiped away. For jealousy is the rage of a man. And why so? Right? Because once again, it's the Most High that hath, as we're about to read, it's the Most High that hath basically put that man together with that woman. right? They have become one flesh, right? So it says, for jealousy is the rage of a man, therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance. He will not regard any ransom, neither will he rest content, though thou givest many gifts. And once again, that's what I said, it leads into a lot of death. Not just spiritual death, but carnally as well. You see, man's see the woman catch a woman committing adultery, right? And then now the strap comes out, man. Gunshots or whatever. Right now he's in jail and the other guy's dead, and she's just free to do it all over again, right? Which is why the law on adultery is the way it is. We can grab that real quick, right? This is Deuteronomy 22 from 26, right? Right, so I'll start from 25, just read into the law, right? But Deuteronomy 22:25. But if a man find a betrothed damsel in the field, right? It says, and the man force her and lie with her, right? So if the push, right, he takes it, right? Then the man only that lie with her shall die, right? Because she was basically fighting and he took it. So, but unto the damsel thou shalt do nothing. There is in the damsel no sin worthy of death. For as when a man riseth against his neighbor and slayeth him, even so is this man. Basically saying, it's like likening it to killing the man. Right, for he found her in the field, and the betrothed damsel cried, and there was none to save her. Right. So I actually missed a little bit up. Yeah, verse 23, gotta read this as well, right? Verse 22 says, and if a man be found lying with a woman married to an husband, then they shall both of them die. But both the man that lay with the woman and the woman, right, so shall thou put away evil from Israel. And if this law was enacted, right, this world would be such a better place, right? But that's why we go into this, this notion of, we had to live this so we can appreciate righteousness. We can appreciate why the law is basically gives the penalty of death for adultery. Right? Once again, we see it, all the mandem that while out because some man slept with a woman, and it's just a mess. Okay, right? But once again, that's why we look forward to the kingdom, because none of these things are going to be happening in the kingdom. All right, you're never gonna end up having an ex. Right? You're never gonna end up, someone sleeping with your woman. Right? All of that pain and nastiness won't be in the kingdom. Right? It says, verse 23, if a damsel that is a virgin be betrothed unto a husband, and a man find her in the city and lie with her, right? So here it is, she's just promised in marriage, right? Says, then ye shall bring them both out unto the gate of the city, and ye shall stone them with stones that they die. The damsel, because she cried not, basically she was with it, right? She was enjoying herself, right, being in the city, right? And the man, because he hath humbled his neighbor's wife, right? So thou shalt put away evil from among you. Yeah, it's evil, man, right? And then so let's go back to this, right? So verse 6, Matthew 19:6 is, wherefore they are no more twain but one flesh, right? So basically, they become one. Once again, given this idea of, when, especially if you've been with a woman for a long period of time, you kind of see how, she starts picking up your, the things you do, right? She starts, picking up your style. Let's say you like a certain particular style, right? She'll start dressing more that style, right? As opposed to give the example all the time. If she's with a Muslim, she'll become a Muslim. If she's with with whatever, then she'll start leaning to be getting into that, right? Because women are followers, not leaders. Okay. But also because you're becoming one flesh, right? It says, what therefore the Most High had joined together, let no man put asunder, right? So once again, when a man is out there, committing adultery, right? That's why it's straight up wickedness. Is the Most High that basically put that union together, right? This is let me just say Doteth. Really? So just bear with me. Yeah, Sirach 25 and 2. It says, three sorts of men my soul hateth, and I am greatly offended at their life. A poor man that is proud, a rich man that is a liar, and an old adulterer that doteth. Okay, and would you call it? I've always kind of liked how this was written, and I am greatly offended at their life. Right, adulterers, man. Although it's praised in this kingdom, right, it's something that's not. It's not to be. It's not a light thing. Right, but that's why the scripture says this. This is Isaiah 29 and 16. It says, surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the works of him that made it, he made me not. Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding. Right. So in Esau's world, right, he's basically made adultery fashionable. Right. Now that's not to say Jake ain't wicked. Hey, Jake be wicked. Right. But just the spirit of this world is that adultery really is nothing, to look at. You'll basically get looked sideways if someone says, oh yeah, bro, hey, go chat to her. It's like, oh, nah, she's got a man. They look at you like you got 10 heads. They're like, so that doesn't matter. But how was this pushed? That was pushed a lot in the media. Right. I always remember growing up, what was the thing? He was like, oh yeah, but we can be friends. And I'm just like, where did we get that idea from? That was something that was pushed through entertainment. That's what the scripture says, this in Habakkuk 2, right? From verse 15, right? It says, warn him that giveth his neighbor drink, right? It's talking about philosophy, and adultery is a popular philosophy in this world, right? That's why you'll be having TV shows, right, or movies or whatever, right? And really, and they're doing the same thing with the alphabetism, right? When you're looking and observing what exactly is having you in these movies, like root for, right? It will be basically someone in a wicked state. I remember watching the first Aquaman, right? And really, they're having you root for Aquaman, but really, Aquaman was as a usurper to the throne, and he was an adultery. He took his brother's wife. All right, so it was just like all straight up madness. Okay, but that's one of the things they do. They push it through through the media to normalize this stuff. But there's nothing normal about it. And once again, that's why we look forward to the kingdom, right? Right, where just this nastiness and this pain, right, ain't gonna be anymore. Right, it says that puttest thy bottle to him and makes them drunk, and also that thou mayst look on their nakedness. Right, so then you can go and blame them. Like, you see, right, those adulterers. But these times, who's paying these people's salaries to make songs like Miss Me and Mrs. Jones, or I mean, it's just so many, man, right? And you listen to the lyrics and he's like, oh shit, ruins the song, man. Okay. Back in Matthew 19 and 7, it says, they say unto him, why did Moses then command to give a writing of divorcement and to put her away? He saith unto them, Moses, because of the hardness of your heart, suffered you to put away your wives, but from the beginning it was not so. Right. Well, so once again, this idea of an ex, this idea of divorce and stuff like that. That's not the way things were supposed to be, right? And when you're listening, as I said, is from where this inspiration came from. Right? When you're listening to people talk, you understand why, right? Because once again, you'll be hearing women that are getting married, or they're moving in with their boyfriend, right? But then really when you hear them talk, or you hear them talk about their, the person that they really loved, it's like the guy that she's getting with ain't the guy that she's really into, right? So once again, it's just always a pertinent reminder just not to get too into them, right? Once again, it's not yours, it's just your turn, right? Carrying on, it says verse 9, it says, and I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication, and shall marry another, committeth adultery, and whoso marrieth her which is put away doth commit adultery. So once again, let's read Matthew 16 and 4 again. So the wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a son, and that's what it is, right? Because when you're dealing with these women, they're not virgins. Therefore, if you want to get technical according to the law, right, they are what do you call it? They are, it's adultery. That's why we just follow the standard, right? That if she's what's the word I'm looking for? If she you ask her, you single, she says she's single, then it is what it is, right? But once again, that's why we look forward to the kingdom where we can have virgins, right? And those virgins, no one else is ever gonna touch them, right? She's gonna be, imagine that all the women you ever deal with are always gonna be molded to your member, right? If you catch what I'm saying, right? None of this, once again, it's nastiness of just like, yeah, man. I mean, it's not even go into all of that, man, right? But yeah, so it was just something I'd been kind of just thinking of, from conversations at the job and stuff like that. But yeah, as always, Lord, what I was edifying. Till next time, say shalom.